Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Tide English. I'm Elena, your teacher and friend.
And I'm Kevin. Hey, Elena, you seem excited today.
Oh my goodness, something so embarrassing happened yesterday.
Oh no, what?
I was at a networking event and froze when someone said, "Tell me about yourself." I just stood there,
You? But you teach English.
I know. Even teachers get nervous sometimes. I mumbled, "I'm Elena. I teach stuff."
Stuff? That's so vague.
Exactly. And this happens to so many people.
Totally. Last week, I rambled for 5 minutes about nothing. Weather, commute, breakfast.
The nervous ramble. That's why today's episode is perfect.
But we have a small request.
Yes, we do. If you are listening and you like our podcast, please click the like button, a big thumbs up.
Yes, please do. And if you are new, welcome. Please subscribe to Talk Tide English.
It helps us so much. And please share this podcast with a friend who is learning English.
Thank you. We love our listeners.
Beautiful. Let's start.
Okay, Elena, where do we start? With the classic, "My name is Kevin"?
Yes, but here's the secret. We need to make it interesting, not boring.
What do you mean by boring?
Well, most people just say, "My name is Kevin. I'm from Brazil." And then silence.
Oh, that is pretty plain.
Right? It's what I call bland, and that's our first B2 word.
Ooh, let's explain bland.
Bland means boring, with no flavor, no excitement.
Like eating plain rice with nothing on it.
Perfect example. Plain rice is bland.
So how do we make our introduction not bland?
Add one small, interesting detail. Just one.
Like what?
Instead of saying, "I'm from Brazil," you could say, "I'm originally from Sao Paulo, Brazil, but I've been living in Lisbon for 2 years now."
Oh, wow, that's so much better.
See? You added where you were born and where you are now.
It creates a mini story.
Exactly. People love stories, even tiny ones.
What if someone hasn't moved cities? What then?
Great question. Then add a cultural or personal detail.
Like what?
Like, "I'm from Rome and I grew up eating my Nona's homemade pasta every Sunday."
Oh, I can almost smell the pasta.
Right? That's the power of a detail.
It makes you memorable.
You got it. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be fancy.
What do you mean?
You could say, "I'm from a small town in Brazil where everyone knows everyone."
Oh, that paints a picture too.
Exactly. Simple details work.
So listeners, think right now, where are you from?
And can you add one interesting detail about your hometown?
Maybe it's famous for something or has beautiful nature?
Or maybe you have a special memory from there.
Think about it while we continue.
All right. Next step, talking about what you do for work or studies.
Oh, this is where I always sound like a robot.
What do you usually say?
I work in marketing. I make presentations. I attend meetings.
Oh no, that is robotic.
I know. How do I fix it?
You need to add how you feel about your work.
My feelings?
Yes. Don't just describe tasks. Share why you do it.
Oh, like adding emotion.
Exactly. Instead of "I'm a teacher," I say, "I'm an English teacher." And honestly, I love seeing that aha moment when students finally understand something.
Wow, that's so much more engaging.
Right? I showed passion, not just my job title.
So I could say, I work in marketing, and I really enjoy creating campaigns that connect with people.
Perfect. You showed what excites you about it.
This feels more natural.
Absolutely. And here's a great B2 word, rewarding.
Oh yes, let's explain that one.
Rewarding means something gives you satisfaction, makes you feel good about what you're doing.
Like when you finish a difficult project.
Exactly. It was hard, but completing it feels rewarding.
Or like exercising. It's tough, but afterward you feel rewarding.
Yes, so you could say, "Teaching is really rewarding."
That shows you care about your job.
Right. What about students? How should they talk about their studies?
Good question.
Don't just say, "I study engineering." Say why.
Like, I'm studying engineering because I want to design sustainable buildings.
Perfect. You showed your goal.
That's way more interesting than just the subject.
Absolutely. And you know what? Let me share a listener story.
Oh, I love listener stories.
So we got an email from Sophia last month.
What did Sophia say?
She told us she kept failing job interviews.
Oh no, why?
Because she would only list her duties. "I answer emails, I schedule meetings, I write reports."
That sounds so dry.
Exactly. The interviewers looked bored.
So what did she do?
She started adding feelings and results. She said things like, I coordinate projects between our design and sales teams, which is challenging but exciting because I love bringing people together.
Wow, that's so much better.
And guess what happened?
She got a job?
She got 3 job offers in 1 month.
No way, that's amazing.
I know, right? Just changing how she talked about her work changed everything.
That's so inspiring.
Okay, Kevin, let's talk about hobbies.
Oh, this should be fun.
But here's where people make a big mistake.
What mistake?
They just list hobbies like a grocery list. I like reading, cooking, and traveling.
And that's bad?
It's not bad, but it's bland. There's that word again.
So how do we make it interesting?
Pick 1 or 2 hobbies and actually talk about them.
Oh, quality over quantity.
Exactly. Add details, add why you love it.
Give me an example.
Sure. Instead of I like reading, you say, I'm really into detective novels. I love trying to solve the mystery before the main character does.
Oh, I'm really into. That's a good phrase.
Yes, it means you're very interested in something, almost passionate.
It sounds more enthusiastic than I like.
Exactly. And notice I explained why I enjoy it.
Trying to solve the mystery. That's the reason.
Right. It's like a game for you.
I love that. Let me try. Instead of I like cooking, I could say,
Go ahead.
I'm really into cooking Italian food because it reminds me of my grandmother's kitchen. Plus, it's therapeutic after a stressful day.
Oh, therapeutic. That's a B2 word.
Let's explain it.
Therapeutic means something that helps you feel better mentally or physically.
Like taking a warm bath when you're tired,
Perfect. A warm bath is therapeutic.
or listening to calm music when you're stressed.
Exactly. So when Kevin says cooking is therapeutic, it means it helps him relax.
It calms my mind.
Beautiful. And listeners, notice something important here.
What?
Kevin didn't just say what he does. He connected it to his emotions and memories.
Oh, reminds me of my grandmother. That's emotional.
Yes, and people connect with emotions.
That makes conversations deeper.
Absolutely. Here's another tip.
Tell me,
Give people conversation hooks, little details they can ask about.
what's a conversation hook?
It's a piece of information that invites questions.
Oh, like when you mention detective novels, someone might ask, what's your favorite book?
Exactly. The conversation continues naturally.
That's brilliant.
All right, let's talk about the future, your goals and dreams.
Oh, this part always makes me nervous.
Why?
Because my goals keep changing. I don't have everything figured out.
You know what? That's completely okay.
Really?
Absolutely. You can be honest about that.
How?
Say something like, I'm still figuring out my long-term career path, but right now I'm focused on improving my English and learning new skills.
Oh, so I can admit I'm still exploring?
Of course. Figuring out means you're in the process of understanding or deciding something.
That takes the pressure off.
Exactly. But if you do have clear goals, definitely share them.
Like what?
My goal is to become fluent in English within 18 months so I can work for an international company.
Oh, that's specific.
Yes, within 18 months gives a timeline.
And work for an international company is the reason.
Exactly. Always include your why.
It shows motivation.
Right. And here's another powerful thing you can do.
What?
Talk about what you're doing right now to reach your goals.
Oh, show action, not just dreams.
You got it. Say, I'm working toward becoming a project manager, so I'm taking online courses every Saturday morning.
That's impressive.
See? You're not just talking, you're doing.
That shows you're proactive.
Oh, proactive, our last B2 word.
Let's explain it.
Proactive means you take action before problems happen or before someone tells you to.
You're not reactive, waiting for things to happen.
Exactly. You make things happen.
Like if you see dark clouds and take an umbrella before it rains.
Perfect example. That's being proactive.
So talking about your current efforts shows you're proactive about your goals.
Absolutely. And employers love this. Friends respect this.
It shows you're serious about your life.
Okay, Kevin, we've learned what to say. Now, how do we make it sound natural?
Good question. I don't want to sound like I memorized a script.
Exactly. Memorizing makes you sound like a robot.
So what's the solution?
Practice, but practice smartly.
What does that mean?
Write down your introduction, all the points we discussed,
Okay.
then practice saying it out loud. But here's the key. Say it differently each time.
Oh, so I know my main points, but I changed the exact words.
You got it. One time you might say, I'm passionate about teaching.
And next time, I really love helping students learn.
Exactly. Same meaning, different words.
That keeps it natural and flexible.
Right. And here's another tip. Record yourself.
On my phone?
Yes, use your phone's voice recorder.
But I hate listening to my own voice.
Everyone does, but it's so valuable.
Why?
You'll notice things you don't realize when speaking.
Like what?
Where you pause awkwardly, where you say too much, where you sound boring.
Oh, so I can fix those things.
Exactly. It's like looking in a mirror for your speaking.
That makes sense.
And one more thing, practice with another person.
Even if they don't speak English well?
Yes, just having someone listen creates realistic pressure.
Like a dress rehearsal.
Perfect analogy. You prepare for the real situation.
All right, everyone, let's quickly review the B2 words we learned today.
Yes, this is our vocabulary tour.
First word, bland. It means boring, no flavor, no excitement.
Example sentence. The presentation was so bland that half the audience fell asleep.
Or in food, this soup is bland. It needs salt.
Perfect.
Next, rewarding. This means satisfying, giving you a sense of accomplishment.
Example. Learning a new language is challenging, but it's incredibly rewarding when you have your first real conversation.
Beautiful.
Next, therapeutic. Helps you feel better mentally or physically.
Example, I find yoga therapeutic. It calms my anxious mind.
Or taking a walk in nature is therapeutic for me.
Love it.
Next, proactive. Taking action before being told or before problems arise.
Example, she's very proactive. She prepared the report a week before the deadline.
That shows initiative.
Exactly.
And our phrase, I'm really into. Very interested in something.
Example, I'm really into photography. I take my camera everywhere.
It shows passion.
Right. And figuring out, in the process of understanding or deciding.
Example, I'm still figuring out which career path is right for me.
Perfect. So listeners, try using these words this week.
Use them in sentences. Make them yours.
Okay, everyone, let's talk about why this skill matters.
Yes, this is important.
Look, we know life is busy. You have work, family, responsibilities.
So true.
But being able to introduce yourself well opens so many doors.
Like what?
Better job opportunities, networking connections, new friendships.
Even romantic relationships.
Yes, first impressions matter everywhere.
And the good news is, you don't need hours of practice.
Exactly. Just 10 minutes a day makes a huge difference.
Small steps add up.
Right. If you practice 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow,
By next week, you'll feel so much more confident.
and confidence changes everything.
Even if your grammar isn't perfect, confidence makes people listen.
Absolutely. People remember how you made them feel.
Not whether you used past perfect correctly.
Exactly.
So here's your challenge for this week.
Are you ready, listeners?
We want you to introduce yourself to someone new, in English.
It could be online, in a forum, in our YouTube comments, to a language exchange partner.
Or even practice in front of a mirror.
Use at least 3 elements we discussed today.
Where you're from with one detail.
What you do with why you enjoy it.
One hobby with a personal connection.
Then come back and tell us how it went.
We read every single comment.
And we reply to as many as we can.
We want to hear your success stories.
And remember, feeling nervous is totally normal.
Everyone feels nervous when trying something new.
But every time you practice, you get a little better.
Soon it'll feel natural.
Like riding a bike.
You got this.
Well, everyone, we're coming to the end of today's episode.
This was such a practical topic,
I know. I wish we had this lesson when we were starting.
right? It would have saved us from so many awkward moments.
True.
But listeners, remember, introducing yourself isn't bragging.
Exactly. It's sharing who you are.
Your story, your passions, your dreams.
These things make you unique and interesting.
Don't hide them.
Share them confidently.
Before we go, don't forget to subscribe to Talk Tide English. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one.
Share this episode with a friend learning English.
Learning together is more fun.
And leave us a comment. What's one thing about yourself you're proud to share?
We love hearing from you.
It builds our community.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening.
You're doing amazing work on your English journey.
Keep practicing little by little.
Every conversation is progress.
Every mistake is learning.
We believe in you.
Until next time, stay confident.
Keep speaking, keep growing.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye, viewers.